Students, today I'll teach you about tissue culture. So what is this tissue culture? Tissue culture is a very special technique in which a cell is selected from the apical region or the shoot region that we called as a explant. And from that cell a whole plant is raised in the lab. This is known as tissue culture. So there are certain steps. First is healthy cell is selected. Cell is selected from plant. Then cell is kept in the nutrient medium. Cell or tissue, anything can be taken out from the healthy plant. Then cell is kept in nutrient medium. The cell is kept in a nutrient medium. Generally, agar-agar, a powder is used which is made up of algae and which is highly nutritious for the plants. In that, cell start division. So, when cell divided from 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 8, then a ball of cell is formed. That ball or mass of cell is known as callus. Then what is formed? Callus is formed. Then third one, when callus is formed, then the nutrient medium is changed and they are kept in another jar. For example, this is a jar, this is a ball of cells, then it is kept in another medium which is rich in hormones. Which hormones? Growth regulators. Like auxin, gibberellin, cytokinin. These are the growth regulators or growth promoters. Then when we kept the callus in the medium which is rich in hormone, then as a result the embryo formation takes place. Later on, the radicle and plumule arises. Emergence of or development of radicle and plumule. This radicle give rise to root and plumule give rise to shoot. That means a whole plant is formed inside the jar. Later on, the developed plantlet or transferring of plantlet takes place to the main fields. Transferring of plantlet to the fields. These steps are involved in raising a plant in the lab from a healthy cell or the tissue. Now, what are the advantages of tissue culture? Tissue culture are more advantageous because tissue culture, here plant can be raised in any season and it is very fast process. Within very short time we can raise a whole plant. Third thing, even from the diseased plant we can take out the healthy cell and we can form a new good variety of plants. So these are very advantageous. Now contraceptive methods. So here we have to study about different types of contraceptive methods. Contraceptive methods, these are the methods which avoid the fusion of male and female, or we can say which avoid fertilization process. So one by one we are going to discuss. First is barrier method. Second is IUCD. And fourth is surgical method. Now one by one we are going to discuss is various methods. Here actually condoms and diaphragms are there. These are made of condom, these are made up of rubber, and these are used by both male and female, because male condom as well as female condom both are available, and these avoid the fusion. And similarly diaphragm that is used by the female, and as a result sperm cannot reach to the fallopian tubes. So these are the barrier methods. If we talk about the chemical methods generally the pills or the tablets which are taken to avoid the ovulation process. This is taken by the females. That is known as chemical methods. Example, actually these pills that contain either combination of estrogen and progesterone or only progesterone, because children, we know progesterone is a hormone which occur or which releases during pregnancy. As a result, and during pregnancy time ovulation never take place, means egg is not released out. So that is why these pills or the tablets that contain either combination of estrogen and progesterone or only progesterone, as a result ovulation doesn't take place, and so no fusion is there, no fertilization takes place in the fallopian tubes. Now IUCD, we talk about, the full form is intrauterine contraceptive device. Intrauterine contraceptive device. Actually here you have to learn about copper T. Many are there, but in syllabus copper T is only there. Here actually intrauterine contraceptive device means any device which is inserted in the uterus. So it is in the form of T and made up of copper. What is the role of copper in the uterus? Actually copper, that is phagocytic. Phagocytic, that means it kills the sperm. It envelops the sperms, as well as they suppresses the motility of the sperms, means they suppresses the movement of the sperms. Now come to surgical methods. These are two: vasectomy and tubectomy. Vasectomy generally take place in the females, and vasectomy takes place in the male, tubectomy takes place in the female. Actually vasectomy, that means vast difference, a piece of vast difference, a small part that is cut and then it is tied, and it can be done by making a small incision in the scrotum. And tubectomy, it takes place in the fallopian tubes, or we can say in the females, in which a part of the fallopian tube is cut and tied with the thread. As a result, egg is not released out and it is not captured by the fallopian tube, and no fusion is there. So these together are known as sterilization, or these are the surgical method, best methods, that is vasectomy and tubectomy. Vasectomy in males, tubectomy in females. Now STD, sexually transmitted diseases. Sexually transmitted diseases, that we call as a STD. Actually, that you have to study about 3 diseases: gonorrhea, syphilis and AIDS. First of all, what are sexually transmitted diseases? the diseases actually which are caused due to sexual contact. Are known as sexually transmitted diseases. So gonorrhea, syphilis and AIDS we have to study. Gonorrhea and syphilis both are caused by bacteria. These are the bacterial diseases. AIDS, that is caused by virus. So gonorrhea, this is caused by Neisseria gonorrhea. And the main symptoms of this disease takes place in both male and females. Main thing is that burning like sensation while urination. While urination. Second, in case of female, while discharges also take place as it takes place in leukorrhea from the vagina. And we talk about the syphilis and safe sexual contact. We can prevent the disease by using condoms and all. Now syphilis, that is also a bacterial disease caused by Treponema pallidum. And in this actually some boil-like structure occur in the genitalia. And main thing is that pus-like discharges also take place. And it also takes place both. Now if we talk about the AIDS, it is a viral disease caused by human immunodeficiency virus. We can call it as a human immunodeficiency virus because here in this disease, this virus weakens the immunity system of a suffered person or a patient. And the full form of AIDS is acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. Immunodeficiency syndrome. Actually, why we call it as a immunity system, there is a deficiency of immunity. First of all this. Second thing is syndrome. Syndrome because whenever many common symptoms are there for a disease, then we call it as a syndrome. There is a ELISA test by which we can detect the AIDS, that is enzyme linked immunosorbent assay. And we know that in this disease, what are the common symptoms? And actually, it is very lethal disease. There is no cure till now. We can cure gonorrhea and syphilis, but AIDS is very severe disease. We cannot cure it. First of all, symptoms. Symptoms generally, common symptoms, loose motion, weakness, fever, likewise, or loss of appetite, all are the common symptoms of the AIDS. And here, AIDS symptom that may appear after 10 years, after 12 years, not within 1 year or 6 months. That is why it is very dangerous disease. And it can be caused, it can be transferable from infected to healthy person through transfusion of blood, through sexual contact, it can transfer. And by the needle which is used for the patient of the AIDS, by that the same needle can also cause the disease, AIDS. So these are all about sexually transmitted diseases. Here we complete this chapter. Doubts, you can send the comments.